Gentlemen, what is going on today? My name is Ryan Mickler. I'm your host and the founder of the Order of Man podcast and movement. Welcome here and welcome back. We're doing things a little differently. I've got some new video camera equipment, and hopefully this is going to make things look a little better because we're always trying to improve the quality. But most importantly, we want to make sure we're getting you the information, the tools, the resources, and the conversations that you want and need to thrive as a man. So this is a small part in that mission and in that goal. And that mission has been going on for 8 years now, a little over 8 years now. And I share that with you because whether you've been with us for 8 years or you're just joining us for the first time, I'm glad you're here. Today, we're going to talk about something that gets brought up all the time, and that is the dichotomy of contentment versus ambition. I get this question so often. How do you balance between being content and being satisfied, maybe not satisfied, but happy with where you are, but at the same time, still be ambitious and have goals and desires and dreams and pursuits and things that you're working towards. So today I'm going to give you 5 tools, 5 mindsets, and a couple little strategies that you can use to help you exercise both contentment in your life, and maybe use a different word, but you understand the point, balancing that with ambition, drive, and motivation. Let's just jump right into it today, and I'm going to talk about some other things later, but for now, let's get right into the 5 things. Number one is we need to acknowledge and realize that 2 ideas can exist simultaneously. All right. You can actually be content and happy with where you are. And also you can be ambitious and have a desire for more. Too often we operate in this false dichotomy mindset where if one variable exists, the other can't. So a lot of the times people believe that, hey, if I'm content with where I am, that means I'm going to be lazy. That means I'm going to be lackadaisical. I'm not going to have vision. I'm not going to have motivation. I'm not going to have drive. That isn't the case. I'm very happy with where I am in my life for the most part. I'm working through my own personal issues on some aspects, just like many of you are, but I'm very satisfied with where I am. And I also have goals, and I also have dreams, and I also have desires. And one doesn't necessarily need to come at the expense of the other. When we operate in false dichotomies, we shut ourselves off to potential and possibility and fulfillment. So, for example, if you believe that you can only be content or ambitious, then you're going to slip into default mode. You're going to be in cruise control. You're not going to be doing new things. You're not going to be pushing yourself further. And ultimately, you are not going to be content with that. Isn't that ironic? You're so focused on being content that you're not going to be ambitious. And because you're not ambitious and working towards something, then you lose some of your contentment. It's an ironic scenario, but that's the reality of it. Alternatively, if you're so ambitious, but you never stop to embrace or recognize or realize or express gratitude about where you are, your ambition means nothing because you're never happy. You're never fulfilled. You're never satisfied. So I think it's important that we exercise both. We're going to be content and satisfied. Excuse me, I keep saying that word. That's not the right word. Satisfied is not the right verbiage for this. We're going to be content with where we are, meaning we're going to be fulfilled and happy with where we are because we can consciously make that choice. And also, we're going to have goals, dreams, desires, outcomes that we want to pursue. Having both actually helps the other. Being more content with where you are helps you see all that you have, which allows you to drive on and use tools and technology and information and insight and your health in positive ways to continue your growth. And being ambitious allows you to be content because you can see that your hard work is paying off. Guys, number 2 is we want to exercise. Now that we know that 2 variables can exist in the same ecosystem, we now want to exercise 2 different, not competing, but complementary ideas. Number 1 is gratitude. Now you hear this all the time. Everybody talks about why you should express gratitude and talk about the things that you're grateful for and happy about. That practice is very beneficial for multiple reasons, but one of them is that it allows you to see all that you have, and you do have a lot. I'm struggling in some areas of my life. Every single man that I talk with is struggling in an area of his life or multiple areas. And yet, even despite those struggles, there are still so many things to be grateful for, positive about, and excited about. The more that we can acknowledge that you do have a good life, you have your health, you have food on the table, you have roof over your head, you have clothes, you have access to technology, you have relationships that mean something to you, the more content you are going to be with what you have, and you're not going to need to chase other things. There's a difference now between chasing and pursuing. I'm not talking about pursuing different areas, or excuse me, I'm not talking about chasing different areas of your life. I'm talking about pursuing, meaning actively working towards achieving desired results. So we're going to, if this sounds interesting to you and you feel like you want to express gratitude more, is I'm going to pull something out of my drawer here. I've got a journal right here, right there. And every single day I write in this journal. Sometimes I write what I'm grateful for. Sometimes I write what lessons I've learned. Sometimes I write where I struggle. Sometimes I write a story or an anecdote or something I came across from throughout the day that taught me something different or unique or valuable, and I write it down. And I'm telling you what, every time I go in there and I write that I'm grateful for my children, I'm grateful for my relationships, I'm grateful for the opportunity to serve you guys, I'm grateful for technology, I'm grateful for my truck, I'm grateful for the beautiful weather outside, I'm grateful for this home that I have, I'm grateful for my financial abundance and other rental properties I have. I'm grateful for intelligence. That's questionable or debatable, I should say, but I'm grateful for all these things. I write them down, and you know what? I feel edified and uplifted. And alternatively, as I write in that journal, sometimes I'm writing, hey, here's what I'm after. You know, I want to have a thriving romantic relationship with somebody. I want to have a deep and connected, powerful relationship with kids. I want to have a thriving, fulfilled, successful career and business. I want to have a lot of zeros at the end of that one inside my bank account. I want to go on trips. I want to go on vacations, and I want to work towards those things. And I want to use what I have, the things I'm grateful for, to produce those desired results. I'm somewhat intelligent. I've got my health, I've got energy, I've got vitality, I've got technology, I have a great network of individuals. I'm so grateful for those things because I can use them to be more ambitious in my life and achieve desired outcomes. Now they're no longer competing ideas, they're harmonious, right? I'm grateful for what I have, and because I value what I have, I'm going to use it to help me create more prosperity, fulfillment, and abundance in my life. Number 3 is that we need to understand that life is just a process. All right. So many of us, and this is the plight of self-development. Man, I get into this trap every once in a while, but so many of us are so focused on what's next, what's next, what's next, what can I do? How can I accomplish this? That we forget that we're in the midst of a process right now. I just had a great question on our Ask Me Anything earlier this week, where my good friend Caleb Oliver asked something to the effect of, working towards some future outcome, knowing that he's not exactly where he wants to be right now. And I use the analogy of a track runner in the starting block. They don't complain that they're in the starting block. They're ready to go. They're ready to run the race. They're ready to win and work what they can to be able to accomplish their desired outcome. But they're not complaining about being in the starter's block because they know it's an integral part of the process. So what do they do in the starting block? Well, they get positioned. They move and maneuver their body in just the right way so that when that gun goes, they're in the best possible position to excel, to thrive, and to accomplish what it is they're after. Guys, we're not going to complain about where we are right now. This is part of the process. And I don't care where you are, but this is it. If you're overweight, this is the starting block. If you're financially destitute, this is the starting block. If you don't have a romantic relationship with somebody that's deep and meaningful and fulfilling to you, this is the starting block. It's part of the process. And just because you don't have what you want right now doesn't mean that because of where you are, you can't start working towards it. I've talked about it so often that especially this goes for men who are depressed and have anxiety and are struggling with where they are. Work on building friendships. Make yourself the project. Develop a new skill. Get a new credential. Ask that woman on a date, start that business, go to the gym, drink more water, cut out the processed sugars, balance your bank account today. Like, these are all things that you can do regardless of where you are in life. And yeah, it's not grand and it's not sexy and it's not the ultimate pinnacle of your achievement, but it's something. And you're going to feel better about that because you understand that where you are is only the bottom of the totem pole based on where you will be. But that's only possible if you're willing to do the work and acknowledge that this starting point is part of the process and you're building. What too many guys do is they complain and gripe and moan and bitch about where they are right now, that they don't even take advantage of the time they have right now. Oh man, I'm not in as good a shape as I want to be. And so they'll sit around and they'll wallow in their own tears and they'll binge watch Netflix while they're drinking a bunch of booze. How's that going to serve us, guys? It's not. So instead of using your current circumstances as a reason to self destruct or self sabotage, think to myself or yourself, hey, you know what? I don't have everything going for me right now, but I can pick up a great book. I can put the drink down. I can put the Netflix down. I can pick up a great book and I can read that book. I can listen to a podcast. I can call a friend. I can work on that project. I can invest in that camera that I wanted to get to start my photography business. I can build a website. I can go in and balance my bank account. There's so many wonderful things that you can do right in this moment if you're willing to acknowledge that this moment, regardless of where it is part of the process. Number 4 is it's important that we measure, embrace, and also celebrate incremental improvement. Guys, I know what it's like not to succeed at the level that you know you can. I do it every day because every day I have a desire to be in a different place than I currently am, but I'm not. But there are things that I do today. Maybe I got up and I went and worked out. Maybe I accomplished my entire to-do list today. Maybe I connected with a friend or a romantic interest or my children in a way that moved the needle in our relationship. Maybe I paid off a few $100s in debt. Maybe I picked up a new gig or got a new client. Small little things that you can count towards your victory. And then you can be excited about where you currently are because you won, but you know that's putting you on the path to improvement. Right? I understand it's difficult for a high achieving man, for a guy who's getting a lot done, but also a guy who listens to a lot of self-help and self-development, like I do, like you do. It's hard not to compare yourself to other people and wonder why you're not there. You can be. You're just starting the race a little late. Everybody who's there, quote unquote, there where you want to be, started where you are. So get your butt in the game, start doing what needs to be done, acknowledge that you're, yes, maybe not as far as the next guy, but you're further than you were yesterday. And that's something to honor, and it's something to be proud about. Honor, acknowledge, embrace, and celebrate the small wins. I have a good friend in our brotherhood, the Iron Council. He talks about it all the time. His name is Alan Placer. He talks about it all the time. Celebrate your wins. Be happy with what you're doing, because the more fulfilled and happy you are with your wins, the more you want to stack those wins up. And it's stacking those wins that allows you to produce and accomplish long-term objectives. Guys, number 5, and this one is stolen directly from my good friend, Andy Frisilla. I think he surmises this concept of the dichotomy between content and ambition perfectly when he uses the phrase aggressively patient. Aggressively patient. It's a bit of an oxymoron, isn't it? You're supposed to be patient, but also aggressive. Yes. What does that mean? Aggressive towards the action that will produce the result that you desire. That's it. You're going to be aggressive towards the action that is going to produce the result or desire. And you're not going to really worry about when things are going to happen and when your ship is going to come in and one day when. All you're going to do is create some vision. We talked a little bit about that, right? In point number 2, exercising gratitude and vision. You're going to exercise some vision. You're going to exercise some understanding the process. And then you're going to aggressively and actively work towards what you need to accomplish while being patient and letting the process unfold. And the best way I found to keep yourself in this game, because let's be honest, if, for example, you want to lose 30 pounds and you lose that first 5, 10, 15 pounds pretty quickly, but that last 15 or that last 10 or 5 pounds is really difficult, you might be discouraged because you're not seeing the results that you want. So the best thing that you can do is to turn towards trusted advisors and mentors and coaches or people online, influencers, whoever you listen to that are credible, and they're going to keep you in it. Because they're going to acknowledge that you're not seeing the results that you want, but if you stay in the game long enough, you will, and they'll keep you in the game. I dealt with this all the time in financial planning. I had people come in and they're like, Ryan, you know, this guy's portfolio did 20% last year and my portfolio did 8%. Well, I want to chase that 20. Well, what the guy who got 20 this year didn't tell you is that he lost 30 the previous year. He was down 10 the previous year. He was up 3 the previous year and down 15 the previous year. Like, he didn't tell you that. That's Bidenomics, by the way. Okay, they'll tell you, hey, inflation is down every month or every year for the last 3 years. Well, that's not the entire story. The entire story is that it skyrocketed 4 years ago, and we're not even to where we were before. So if we're going to look at it, we need to tell the entire story. It's not just that the guy next to you got 20%. What we're after is long-term, consistent results through small, simple, and consistent actions. We need to be able to exercise aggressive patience, knowing that we're doing the right thing, feeling confident in what we're doing, and letting the results play as they're going to play, letting the chips fall as they may, so to speak. Guys, this is how we do it. But what I want you to know is that every time you talk about balancing the dichotomy of content and ambition, or how do I be content but also still be ambitious, you're creating an unnecessary battle. You're battling with yourself. You're saying that either I can be content and never have anything else I want to have in life, or I can have everything I want in life and never be happy about it. I'm not interested in that kind of lifestyle. You're not interested in that lifestyle. I want to be happy now. I want to be fulfilled now. I want to be content with where I am in my life now. And I want to create future opportunities. And I know those two concepts are not at odds with each other. In fact, they're complementary. The more I can be content, the more I can be fulfilled, the more I can be satisfied and grateful with what I currently have, the more opportunities I will have in the future. This is the path, guys. And this is how you balance, so to speak. And again, I don't like that term when we're talking about this because it makes it feel like they're at odds with each other, and they're not. But this is how you practice both contentment and ambition. I hope that serves you. I hope it helps. If it does, let me know. If you're on YouTube, youtube.com/orderofman, drop a comment. Let me know what you think. If you have other ideas, please share those with me. Also, share this episode with somebody else. If you know an ambitious guy, share this with him. If you know somebody who's struggling with ambition or struggling to accomplish what they want in life, share this with them. When we have access to resources that serve us, we have a responsibility to share those resources with other men. Guys, I hope this helps you. I'm here to serve. I'm here to help you guys. And thank you. A lot of what I share and talk about, I've got some notes here. I actually have to go through myself and think about for myself, how does this apply to me? And it helps me be a better man too. So hopefully I'm serving you, but I want you to know in the process, you are serving me. All right, guys, we'll be back next week. Until then, let's go out there, take action, exercise both contentment and ambition, and become the men we are meant to be.